Hey guys, Ray from Kinsmen here. Today we're going to bring you a demo of the Ethos TWE-1, which is Ethos' offering in the Trainwreck Express vibe. Now if you know anything about Trainwreck, you know that it's basically a British amp on steroids. It's still trying to remain keep the harmonic integrity intact, but it's just crazy gain, crazy, just almost uncontrollable. Now, what Ethos did differently is it gave you a lot of different options, how to tame it, how to tailor it to what you want to do with it. So as you heard on the front of the demo, we had a bunch of different settings. I want to run through those settings and just kind of show you what it sounds like without drums, without bass, and without layered guitars. Today I'm playing a thin line with a Lawler Imperial in the bridge. We're going into a 2-rock Type 3 into a matchless 210 cabinet, mic'd up with a ST55 by Sterling and an SM7 by Shure. All that's going into an Apollo interface and then into Studio One. All right, so this is the clean sound. Let's check it out. Alright, so at the front of the end of the demo, the first two things I played were completely clean. And this pedal gives you two voices, Marshall voice and kind of like a tweed voice, I guess you would say. I started off with a tweed voice because that's my favorite of this pedal. This is what that sounds like. Now, as you can tell, there's a ton of gain on tap. All right, the gain knob is literally at about 11 o'clock, and it's tons of gain, more than most of us would need, but that's kind of what it's trying to emulate. It's over top gain, over the top harmonic overtones going along with it. Now, if you look at the front end of the pedal, you notice that there are 212 settings, a flat setting, a 412 setting for your cabs to match to your cabs. You also have a presence with high, low, and completely cut. You have a Marshall and tweed voicing. You have a high bright switch, a medium bright switch, and a low bright switch. And I'm going to show you just how crazy these controls can get because I'm really impressed with them. Let's start with the low on the bright, and we will start with a low presence, and I'll show you just how well this high cut knob can work. Alright, I'm going to hit the bright and a little, let's leave it there and then we'll add the presence. And let's add some more presence, put it in the middle. And then we'll max it out with the high. Now you notice that has an extreme amount of presence available. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would I ever need that? Well, you just never know, and this high cut is actually going to be your best friend with this pedal. This high cut is a way to kind of tame it and tailor it to exactly what you want. Let me give you an example. I'm going to go back to high presence. I'm going to play a chord. All right, now we're going to back off some of the highs. Let's max out that high cut and let's see what it does. So even in its most extreme setting, this high cut can tame anywhere you're at with a presence, anywhere you're at with a bright, and just kind of suit it to whatever you need it to do. All right, let's go over to the Marshall setting. I'm going to go back to flat on both of these settings, kind of back off the high cut just a hair, and I'm going to go to the M setting. Here we go. Now you notice things get a lot darker. Now once again, you're going to go to the high cut first and kind of tailor it to where you think it might be suitable for you. Usually, I'm going to back it off there. Let's see what it sounds like. So clean things up a lot. Let's back it off even more. All right, let's back it off completely, see what happens. Now, one thing I really love about this pedal is that it remains intact throughout the chords. Even though these are big chords, you hear every single voice represented, and not only that, but you hear the upper harmonics just ringing clearly, and that's really rare to find from a lot of pedals that we've tried out. All right, we're gonna go back, and I want to show you this amazing feature, which is the cab feature. Now, we've tried our hardest to mic up and show you exactly what it's going to do, but much like the other Ethos pedal, if you play the other Ethos pedal, you know that once you engage different settings, the air just starts to move and the pedal just kind of just gets really huge. Well, that's what this is meant to do. So in the middle setting, you have unity. All right, just a flat EQ. You're going to get a little bit of a bass bump with a 212, and the 412 section, it's going to shake the room. So let's see what that sounds like. This is in the tweed setting. Let's stay there, and we'll play flat, go at 212, and then go 412. Here we go. Let's go at 212. Now we'll go at 412. So you hear a lot of that compression as well on the top end. Let's take a little bit of that compression out and kind of open up the pedal with a high cut. I'm gonna play up here. Pushed it a little bit out of tune, sorry about that. So you can see it's really just giving you a lot of options to match it to your cab situation, to your live situation. Very much like the other Ethos pedal, just with a lot more gain on tap. Let's go back to a Marshall setting. I'm going to give you all three of those through the 212 flat and 412. Let me make sure I'm in tune. Just give me a second. Cool. All right, so this is back to the Marshall. I'm going to put a little bit more of the high cut on there, and then we'll just kind of mess around with it just a little bit. put a little bit more highs. More. Go back to this. All right, so let's see here. Let's go to 212. You can hear cases rattling all around me. Just in a 212 setting. Let's bump it up to 4. Yeah, I just love it. You hear the opposite frequencies getting mixed up and just moving something. Now, hopefully you get a really good idea of what's going on with this pedal. It's a really cool pedal. There are tons of tones in it, but I do have one little issue with it, and I really want to make mention of it only because when we were recording this demo, we ran into a little bit of a hiccup, and it's just the nature of the beast. I talked to a friend of mine that actually owns a train wreck, and he was like, hey man, that's the nature of the beast. That is just what's going to happen in those kind of settings that you're using. So what we did was we had on the Marshall setting, 412 setting. I think this was in the, no, it's regular, and this was in the high. And what happened was when I played the solo, if you remember on the solo, when I hit that chord, I wanted to let that chord ring out and then play the... So, play the chord, play the riff. The problem is that this section disappeared because the chord was ringing. So I'll play it all, see if you can hear it. So what you hear is you hear a couple of these notes. That little run, it's going to disappear with the chord. Notice how you heard the top, but you didn't hear the bottom. I'm not playing any different. And you actually hear an envelope as it's coming out. And like I said, I talked to a friend of mine, he was like, yeah, that happens in certain frequency ranges when you have a bunch of stuff going on naturally. So I wanted to make mention of that. It's not a crazy big deal. What I ended up doing was I ended up hitting the chord and then just muting it and then going on to the next section. You can hear it right in the solo. And you can hear that just fine because I did that, but I really wanted to let the chord ring so that I could play those single notes in addition to the chord. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. We enjoyed making this demo. We still think it's an awesome pedal. It just has a little hiccup. No big deal. That's just the nature of the beast. So check out Ethos. Give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you guys real soon. Next time we have a shootout between OCD version 1 and OCD version 2. See you guys soon.